Welcome back to Bold TV. I'm your host, Philip Michael. Our next guest went from being one of the youngest traders on Wall Street at just 19 years old to being a highly sought-after celebrity publicist and owner of her own business, Tribe Builder Media. Welcome, Danielle Sabrina. How you doing?
Good. How are you? Thank you so much for having me.
I'm doing well, thank you. Let's take it from the top. How did you become a Wall Street trader at 19, and what was that like?
At first it felt like very surreal. I ended up becoming a trader. So I dropped out of high school and I was a teen mom. And I was like, okay, I don't have a degree. I don't have any education. I don't have any experience. So how am I going to provide a life for my children or even myself? And I was able to get my foot in the door to a brokerage firm, and they gave me an opportunity to take my Series 7, which at the time was the third hardest exam in the United States. So, but if I passed it, then I would be able to become a trader. So fast forward, I ended up passing the exam, and there was a couple people who had taken the exam with me that had graduated from like Ivy League colleges, and they didn't pass the exam. And that gave me a sense of, for the first time in my life, like I can do anything. Like I really, like the confidence that gave me, I feel like still carries me today, because, you know, everyone said, I really didn't go to school. I dropped out of high school, but I really didn't even I kind of stopped going to school in like 8th grade.
How exactly did the door of Wall Street open to you? How did it come about, of all things that a teenager could do? What was it? How did that come about?
Like I definitely did not even think that was a possibility for me. But I knew that if I got my foot in the door at this company, that I could work my way up.
Sure.
That was my intention. And I would call this receptionist, and I knew my resume wasn't getting through because I didn't have any, like, all the positions like required a college degree.
Sure.
And
right.
And I just kept calling her, and I was like, you know, is there any way that you could maybe get my resume to someone, even if it's like in the mailroom or anything? Can you know, I just kept calling her.
Yeah.
And finally, like weeks after, maybe even it might have even been a little longer. It might have been a couple months actually. I decided I'm going to stop bothering her. Like, obviously I'm not getting anywhere. So I had like called her to just say, thank you for always being so nice to me and hearing me out.
Yes.
But I'm going to stop calling you. And then she was like, oh, I'm so glad you called, because, you know, I had your number written down and I was looking for it. I couldn't find it, but they're hiring for stockbrokers. And if you pass this exam, then you have an opportunity to get hired. And it doesn't necessarily require a degree. So she got it to the HR hiring person, and I ended up getting an interview. And like I came in with like the Wall Street Journal, like, this is my favorite magazine. You know, I'm like, I just read the Wall Street Journal. You know, I was just like, I didn't obviously read the Wall Street Journal.
What made you, moving on from Wall Street to entrepreneurship, what made you make that leap? I suppose you got in there, you worked your way up. What made you want to jump into becoming your own boss, so to speak?
Well, I ended up getting promoted pretty quickly through different companies, and then I got recruited. And at one point I was growing broker-dealers, and I saw that I had the ability to grow a company's revenue very quickly.
Why did you decide to become a celebrity publicist, of all things, from working with broker-dealers and in financial services to doing that? How did that happen?
That just emerged on its own organically, and that's an interesting story as well. So once I decided to leave financial services, I decided I'm very intuitive. So that's something that I've always applied to, you know, my marketing, to any initiatives, to my life. I've always been very intuitive. So I decided to really put myself out there as a business intuitive. And I got a lot of clients through doing that. And then those clients turned into, I would build their brand, manage their brand, build up their thought leadership, get them publicity, really just like, you know, create buzz around them and just make that, you know, this is also before like influencers were a thing. personal branding wasn't even understood. And I was building their brands. And then Ariana Huffington had asked me to write for Huffington Post. So I started writing for Huffington Post.
Nice.
And I kind of moved into media that way. And then through growing brands and getting them in really thought leadership and getting them into different publications, a friend of mine actually was like, "Oh, what you're doing is PR." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, let me start charging for PR then." And then it just emerged into an agency on its own, you know.
What exactly about your business is different than a lot of the other operators out there?
I think what really sets us apart is the training that I give my team and that the space that I come from. So I'm able to pull in my, you know, me as an intuitive and what I can like interpret and which is what I feel, what the audience might feel. There's a lot of things that that just come to me naturally. And then there's the component of like business development. And then on the celebrity and influencer side, I was building people up as an influencer before influencers became a thing. So I've already done it. It's something that like I understand at its core what the goals are, what can drive traffic, what type of press we need for like external validation versus what type of press do we need in order to build a following, in order to get a book deal, in order to get a TV show, you know. So, you know, we work like I understand that side too because I've created TV shows and sold them before. So I know how, you know, our team just is very well versed in the different aspects of media that are very relevant today.
Danielle, where can people follow you?
Instagram. That's what I like.
Shoot it to us. What is it? What's your handle?
It's Danielle Sabrina with the number 7.
With the number 7. Thank you so much for being here today, and thank you for your insights.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, and thank you all for watching. Make sure you follow Bold TV on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Till next time, we're out of here.